Hello, and welcome to Ranked Choice Voting 101. In democratic systems, we usually say that authority to lead is based on the consent of the majority, that is to say, 50% plus one of the voters. Election officials count individual ballots to determine who won. In two-candidate elections, this is all pretty straightforward. Barring the event of a tie, one candidate will always attain a majority of the votes cast. But most of our elections here at school involve multiple candidates. Sometimes, multiple candidate elections turn out all right. Let's look at scenario 1. We have here a four-way race between candidates A, B, C, and D for, say, the Honor Council. In this case, we were lucky. Candidate A received 55% of the vote. We know that his election embodies the will of the student body because he received a majority of the votes. But sometimes multi-candidate elections can fail voters. Once in a while, the vote will be divided among several candidates with no one receiving a majority. Let's look at scenario 2, a close election between four candidates. At first glance, the result again seems pretty straightforward. After all, candidate A clearly won the most votes. But a closer inspection reveals the truth. Although candidate A won the most votes, he still didn't win a majority of them. That's a problem because a majority of the voters actually wanted someone else. If we were to let candidate A win the election, that wouldn't really be democracy. It would be minority rule. The solution to this problem is called ranked choice voting. The only thing you need to do differently on voting day is to rank your candidates in order of preference instead of just choosing one candidate. When we count the ballots, we'll run the following algorithm to determine who won. If any candidate has enough first-place votes to gain a majority, he wins. This is just like the old style, and the election is now over. But if no candidate wins a majority, we eliminate the candidate who came in last place and transfer his ballot's second-place votes to new candidates. This may sound a little confusing, but we're essentially just asking voters who chose the least popular candidate who their second choice would be. Then we retally the votes. Now if any candidate has a majority, the election is over. But if no one has a majority, we simply repeat step 2. Let's look at this with some visuals using the same numbers from scenario 2. Candidate D received the fewest votes at 11% of the student body. So we eliminate his voter's first place choice and instead count his second place choice. This table shows what happens when we tally candidate D voters' second choice ballots. As you can see, most of them wanted candidate A as their second choice. So here's the final result. One of the candidates has now, after 2 rounds, reached a majority and can thus truly be said to represent the will of the student body. So, to recap, multi-candidate races can sometimes prevent the will of the people. Ranked choice voting prevents this problem. And the only thing you need to do differently on voting day is to rank your preferences for candidates. The upper school office will give you further instructions about how many places to rank in an upcoming email.